This video is being taken at the Birches Resort. We're up here getting ready to start our next 5-day training camp. We've been spending the whole day on the range setting up targets, moving vehicles into place for our training. So if you hear a lot of noise around us, we're actually inside the lodge area. The restaurant is behind us, so a lot of people are finishing up dinner for the night. Behind this camera is a fireplace. Behind us, about 40 feet back, is another fireplace. So we're in the beautiful Birches Resort up here in Rockwood, Maine on Moosehead Lake. So if you hear background noise, we're coming to you from a little bit of a loud environment here at the Birches as our guests start to arrive.
Hi, I'm Mike Count, T4 Survival. I'm here with Scott Allard and Jamie Root. We've got a couple questions from some of our clients or people's.
We're not going to go with that one.
We're going to do this again.
Hi, this is Jamie from T4 Survival. I'm here with
Mike Count.
Scott Allard.
Today we're going to go over some questions we have posted on social media and that were sent to us via email. So we're going to break this down into sections, reading the first question, which is when drawing gun from a holster, how to fend off an assailant with your free hand. All right, what do you think, guys?
Well, first of all, you need to remember your reactionary gap, and if the person is within arm's distance, if his hand is on the gun, you need to trap that gun first, and then simultaneously striking him with either an elbow or a palm strike to the face, just trying to get that reactionary gap open again so you can gain distance, draw your weapon, retreat a little bit, and then come up on target. If he's not on your weapon, I don't recommend that you go drawing for your weapon. In that type of close combat, hand-to-hand combat, I recommend you strike, again, palm strike, left hand, right hand, turn your weapon away from the assailant, get distance where you can safely draw your weapon.
Excellent. Is there anything, Mike?
Nope.
The other thing you have to be aware of, and I know that this is answering a question to a Krav Maga school, one of our top schools, an Alpha Krav Maga school, is that the combatives are going to be extremely important at this point, and knowing the proper combative for the distance you are from this person. So if he's trying to reach for your weapon and he's really close to you, using close range combatives or going into medium range combatives, or even kicks if you can create a little bit more distance and space. Second part to the question is also how to not have the firearm taken away from you. Right? I want to take that one, Mike.
You have to train in skills for weapon retention. So how to trap your own firearm, how to move to break their grip or injure them while you're trapping it and they're trying to take that weapon away. It's not an issue. You have to be doing damage this whole time. And again, like we said earlier, you have to, so you can make space, then you can re-engage. It's a matter of you have to commit to it. If they're going for the weapon, it's life and death. They're looking to cause you serious physical injury or harm, if not kill you. Mm-hmm. So you have to really fight. You have to train in techniques to prevent that from being taken away.
I also want to add to that, when you do draw your weapon and you're in close proximity, I think it's a better idea to draw your weapon and stay tucked. Stay tucked in versus coming up on your target where he can grab it or they can grab it. So you can learn, you can train to draw and come up and stay in close. You can fire from an in close position. There's nothing wrong with this. I am just as accurate here as I am fully extended on target. So I think staying closer when the adversary is close in than fully extending, I think that would be more beneficial.
Excellent. And don't forget, if you do have to take a shot from in close, make sure you have that palm up so your weapon can cycle and not get caught up in your clothing or against your body.
These are all really good points, and it really stresses the importance of getting out to a range with a qualified instructor to get some practice time and being able to put yourself through the paces with a little stress inoculation and practice drawing. Problem that you have is a lot of the ranges won't allow you to draw from a holstered position or to move while shooting, and you can't rapid fire. So you're going to have to find a specialized type of instructor or facility where you would be able to do this type of training, as we offer in different times throughout the year at our training camps up in Maine, and we'll have more information on that later in this video. But let's get on to the second part of the question here. Her client is also asking what to do in a situation where maybe he doesn't draw fast enough or hesitates to shoot and risks the attacker attempting to take his gun. Well, I think a lot of that is practicing your drawing, number one, but the hesitation to shoot, that's a conversation the person has to have with themselves, and being able to kind of have a come to Jesus moment of if I'm presented with a threat and I need to actually pull this trigger to take someone's life to save mine or my loved ones or other people that are around me, am I willing to do so? Now, watching this video, a lot of you are probably shaking your head saying, yeah, absolutely, I could do it. But could you really? Could you really take that step to use your firearm in self-defense? Or even if you had to use combatives and you're using your bare hands to neutralize a threat, how far are you willing to go with those combatives to end that threat and make sure that they cannot hurt you or anyone else around you anymore? And that's really a personal conversation I think you need to have with yourself. Guys, you want to add something?
You're not drawing that weapon to scare somebody. The reality is you're drawing the weapon to take a life. You're hoping that you don't have to go all the way with it, but if it's at the point where it's escalated to the point where you feel that it's the last resort and what you have to do, that's where you're at. And you really have to make that decision and have that conversation well beforehand. And if you don't have that conversation or you haven't yet, don't carry that weapon.
One other thing, you got to remember too, why is the person going for your gun? He's not going for your gun because he wants to look at it. He's either going to use your gun against you or he's going to use his gun against somebody else. So with that in mind, even if you get the draw out and you get a good, target on him, most likely they're going to back off once they see that the gun is on them. But just remember, they're going for the gun to use it against you or somebody else.
And if you don't want to pull a trigger or you've hesitated and they're closing that distance, don't forget you can use that weapon to strike with. So strike with the muzzle and commit to it.
Absolutely. So next question we have is from Kathleen in Connecticut. And the situation is you are walking out of the grocery store thinking how smart you are because you timed your visit just right and the store was quiet. All of a sudden you hear someone behind you, not running, but still close enough and walking fast, and you're not sure if it is some person on their cell phone and not paying attention to your personal space or someone intent on doing harm to you. They are about 8 feet behind you. What would be the best ways to assess this as a threat and put yourself in the best position to defend? All right. Guys?
Engage them. Turn around and ask if they want something, if there's something they need. Don't be nice.
Acknowledge them. Acknowledge their
right.
presence.
Make eye contact and don't be timid about it.
Yeah.
Be loud. Be forceful. Just say, pick some go-to lines. Something easy. So when you're nervous or you're upset, it's quick. What do you want? Can I get back? Even if you're afraid. Who cares if you're rude? If they were meant to do you harm, now you've got them thinking maybe this is not somebody I want to mess with. They've drawn attention to me. If it's somebody that's still not intending to bother you or follow you, you're going to have a response from them, and they're maybe not want to bother you because they think you're nuts or there's something wrong here.
Or just the acknowledgement and showing the confidence to be able to turn toward them and tell them to get back. They're getting a little close to you. You're feeling uncomfortable. They need to back off a little bit, and calling them out sometimes can change the situation. A lot of situations can be. You can get yourself out of a lot of situations by just being aware of your surroundings, right? Being able to acknowledge someone that is maybe looking at you from across the parking lot, being able to take eyesight and take in everyone that's around you and other threats that might be potentially around you. Remember, they're looking at you as a resource. So don't make it easy for them. And one thing that they're not going to want is for you to acknowledge them and look at them and show that you know who they are and where they are. So I think that's an important factor, to just feel confident and confront the person if you need to, and create distance and space and tell them to back off. And that might just take care of the threat on its own. Right? Scott, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would just pretty much say the same thing, or just turn and walk towards them, back into the store as if you forgot something. Say what you want to him, look him in the eyes, let him know, or let them know that you know they're there. You're not going to be a victim. You're not going to fall victim to whatever they're trying to pull. So whether you want to turn around, say whatever you want to say to them, or just turn back and just head back towards the store as if you forgot something. Just look at him in the eye, let him know you're there, and just, again, be confident. Don't cower and try to hide. Just go forward back to the store.
You know, a good point with going back into the store is a great idea, and walking away from the direction they're at, so you're not confronted by walking directly at them. Maybe going to the other side of the aisle where the cars are parked, or going to the other side of where the cars are parked completely and walking back into the store will kind of change your route a little bit. And of course, if they change their route as well, that would be a sign that you might need to move a little bit quicker or be ready to defend yourself at that point, right? She also added to the end of this question here, let's take the same scenario, but you're at your child's school and your gun is safely secured inside your vehicle as you were just visiting the kid's school, and you left it locked up, as of course that is the federal law. So let's take that same situation, that same scenario. Maybe it's after school hours and a parent is walking back to their vehicle, and same thing, they hear someone coming up behind them. They're a few feet away, no firearm on them whatsoever, which we didn't really bring in the firearm to the first conversation anyway. But I think it's on a lot of people's minds of not being able to have your firearm or access to your firearm because of a lot of laws and regulations that we need to abide by. So guys, what do you think of that?
The first part, like we talked about already, is make sure you abide by the state and federal statutes that are applicable to you. In Connecticut, you can't have a gun on school property at all, even locked in your car. You can't have it on there. So if you're parked off property and you're still walking back to your car, it's too late at that point. If somebody's approaching you and cause you harm, having a weapon in the car, it's the same thing as leaving it at home, locked in your safe. It's out of play. You're gonna have to, use your hands and the weapons you have on you that are part of you to combat this person if it comes to it. Again, like in the parking lot of the supermarket, it may just take a simple confronting them, turning around and then making that eye contact. Can I help you? What do you need? If they play the game, hey, you have the time? No, I don't. And be rude. It is what it is. Scott?
I would agree with 100% and follow all of the rules and the laws of the handgun. And again, what you do in the store, you can do the same thing here. Go back to school as if you forgot something. Take a different route. Again, if they follow you, then you know something's going on. But again, confidence. Look them in the eye. Let them know you're there. All right. It could work at the school, supermarket, anywhere. Again, just look at them. Let them know you're there. Take a different route and just head back in.
Absolutely.
Trust your gut instinct.
Yeah.
If it doesn't feel right, there's a reason why. You don't have to explain it or have proof of it. Because we trusted our gut instinct and we don't have that proof, it's better than ignoring that feeling and then having the assault occur. Right. If you feel like there's something wrong and you're in a bad spot, you can't get to a crowd of other people or a crowd of people, call 911. As a law enforcement officer, and I'm sure Scott will agree, I'd rather get a call for the bump in the night that's the raccoons going through the trash than the person trying to break in and now you waited and they're in the house or the assault's occurred. We'll check an area out before something bad happens. It's much easier. It's for everybody. It's much easier.
Absolutely, and I think this also brings that importance of not only having firearm training, but also having self-defense training and hand-to-hand combatives and kicks and being able to use your environment and improvise weapons are all very important, which is, why you should find a self-defense school, and primarily if you have an Alpha Krav Maga school somewhere around you, that would be the #1 choice of where you'd want to go train. But if you don't have an Alpha Krav Maga school, you can certainly message us and ask us who maybe we know in the area, and we can maybe refer someone to you, or do your own work in going into a self-defense school and looking at the instructors and curriculum being taught and seeing if it's a right fit for what you're looking for to be able to defend yourself and your family. So I'm Jamie from T4 Survival. Again, this is
Mike Hahn.
Scott Allen.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Send us a message on social media or send us an email through our website, t4survival.com, and we'll talk to you soon.
Again, great questions, and thank you, and keep them coming, please.
Good. Cut.